Okay, this is my spoiler review for Star Wars The Force Awakens, and man, there are some spoilers in here. I mean, when I said in my first review that I couldn't talk too much about it, I mean it. There was so much in this that I'd be ruining the movie. So let's get started. The first things first, when this movie starts, it full on feels like Star Wars. The second you hear the first note of the theme is like, oh, the nostalgia hits you in the face. And I tell you now, it does the same thing like the original movies and the prequels, where in the beginning with the scrolling text and all that. And I tell you, the first sentence is enough to make you live. Oh shit! It's like, oh shit, because it says Luke has vanished, and to be honest, you kind of figured as much, considering he's not in a lot of the marketing. We'll get to why later. When this movie starts out, it starts off strong. It just starts off on this little village, and it's another plan to take down this thing called the New Order. Basically, the Empire on crack. I'm calling it now. The New Order is the Empire on crack, because what they do is like, holy shit. Kylo Ren, he makes a first impression. I mean, seriously, he makes a first impression. Like, he seems even more powerful than Darth Vader or even the Empire. Or fucking what he can do. They shoot at him. He stops the laser blast midair. And then it's like continues talking and casually and all that. He's not holding his hand up to stop the blast anymore. It's like stopped it. Okay, hey you, where are your secret plans and all that? Where's Luke Skywalker? That's who they're trying to find, basically. They want to find the last Jedi, Luke. And Poe Dameron, he was great. I love Poe Dameron. He was a great guy. I mean, he's serious, but he's very funny. He has a nice introduction when you first meet him, and then when we get to Finn, he's at the same place where the raid is going on, where Kylo Ren and them are. And basically, they're telling all the stormtroopers, shoot up everyone, destroy the village. Finn, he can't do it. He just can't. He can't bring himself to kill any innocent people, and so he doesn't. And then he, decides to go against the New Order. You may feel it's a little rushed, but and the way they kind of explain it later on in the movie, it makes sense. And when Finn helps Poe Dameron escape, these two become full on buddies. I mean, they're full blown just like buddies. And Finn himself makes a great impression. He's funny, he's enjoyable to be around. You get his situation. You get why he's a little like, I can't do this. This is nuts. I can't do this. I gotta get out of here. And I like that. And again, on Poe and Finn's relationship, they're great. I really enjoy these two when they're together. Now, sadly, they get separated because that's what you do. And we go on to Jakku, the planet that Rey is on. When they first introduce Rey, it is just there's no real dialogue from her. You get her situation. She's all alone. She's got to scavenge to survive. And it's totally understandable. It's done through a visual means, not done through auditory means, just more through seeing what's going on with her. And I liked that. And I tell you now, Rey's a fucking badass. She is a badass. I mean that. She kicks ass. And I was like, whew, thank goodness. She's just not gonna be a damsel in distress. She's something like Princess Leia in the first movie. She definitely puts in work. I mean, she has to. She's got to survive. And BB-8, he's the droid that carries this certain plan. He's with Poe Dameron at the beginning, and he gets away, and he's on Jakku. He has this little piece to a map that can tell where Luke is, and the Resistance, i.e., the New Rebels, need to get their hands on that piece in order to find out where Luke is. And of course the new order needs to find the needs to find needs to find BB-8 so they can find where Luke is and destroy him, like you do. And I tell you now, Finn and Rey, when they're together, it's great. It's awesome. I enjoy these two's chemistry. They're really enjoyable. I mean it. I like when these two are together. And the thing is, it's not built up as a romantic relationship. It definitely feels more like an authentic friends type of relationship. If they kind of go in that direction, I wouldn't be against it. But someone kind of brought this up, like the chemistry between Poe and Finn kind of seemed a little more romantic. So I'm not saying anything. If they do that, if they went that route, fine, nothing wrong with that. I wouldn't have seen it coming exactly. I would have been like, well, that was a good way to throw me off. But if they went that route, whatever. But on to Kylo Ren. When I say he makes that first impression, I mean it. He makes the first impression. And he is a legit villain. You understand, he's definitely someone who's trained in the dark side, but he's struggling. It's like, ugh, I definitely want to be on the dark side, but I have a little bit of me wants to be part of the light side. And here's the thing, though. He is Han and Leia's son. I'm like, holy shit. It's like, wow. And it makes a little bit of sense. That means he's Darth Vader's grandson. It's like, holy shit. And on to Han. Harrison Ford, he did such a great job. He knew, I can't play I'm the old guy who's gonna teach these youngins how we did it back in the old. No, he plays as I've been through some shit, so I'm gonna get y'all right, keep y'all straight, and we gonna beat these guys. He plays an old Han. He feels like Han 30 years in the future now, and it's great. He plays it just right, and the same goes for freaking Carrie Fisher as Leia. She plays a great old Leia. And when they're together, I feel genuinely happy that they're reunited. I'm like, yeah, they're back together. I mean, it's not like they were broken up. They were together. It's just Han actually, he left because his son went to the dark side. He felt responsible for it. Like he had to do something about it. But oh my gosh. I mean, when we get to this one part with Han and Kylo Ren, they're on this bridge, they're talking to each other. Han's like, you don't need to do this. You don't need to be on the dark side. Kylo Ren, he full blown is like, he looks torn up. You feel he has an inner struggle. You feel like, oh my God, he's definitely torn. He feels like he's torn between the light and the dark side. He's crying, and you would think, oh man, he's crying. I kind of lose some badass points. Oh, they turned that around instantly. I mean, this man does worse than Vader. Vader couldn't kill Luke, but Kylo Ren's like, hey, I ain't my grandfather. I'll kill my own fucking father. He kills Han. I'm like, holy shit. He killed Han. His own goddamn father. What the fuck? That caught me off guard. I was like, holy shit. They did it. They killed Han. I was like, oh my goodness. And when Chewie was actually there and he's torn up, I'm like, he should be torn up. I'm like, oh my God, they killed Han. Oh God. No. You can't kill Han. You fucking can't. They did it. Damn it. Oh. But it was actually it was very fitting. That's a twist we all didn't think was going to happen. It was a nice twist. And it definitely puts a staple on as Kylo Ren is definitely a stone cold killer. I mean, he'd kill his own fucking father. I'm like, damn, he he's worse than Vader. I mean, Vader, he couldn't kill Luke, but sure he chopped his hand off, but I mean, he didn't go as far as to kill Luke. Ren's just like, fuck this shit, I'll kill my own father. He did it. And, whew, like I said in my last review, it definitely has a lot of familiarity, and I mean a lot of familiarity from the first movie, having the plans that are left in a droid that need to be sent to this certain part of the resistance or this certain person, and it's like, okay, that happens in this movie. Basically, plans are in the plans are in the droid, i.e. BB-8, and BB-8 needs to get to this certain person or get to the resistance in this case and let them know of the plans and whatnot. Now, it's not exactly a plan to take out their new thing called the Star Killer Base. And I tell you now, the Star Killer Base, that's the Death Star on crack. Like I said, when I say the New Order is like the Empire on crack, they are the Empire on crack. I mean, this time around, instead of having something as big as a moon, this shit is big as a freaking planet. And instead of being able to take out one planet at a time, it takes out a whole goddamn solar system. They took out a whole solar system. And whereas in the first movie, it's like, okay, you need to tell us where the rebels are, otherwise we'll blow up your planet. And, you know, Leia tells them the plan, where the plans and all that. They still blow up the planet anyway, just to be like, fuck you. Here they're like, yeah, let's just blow up a whole solar system. Why the fuck not? I'm like, Jesus. They had no reason to. They just were like, let's blow up a solar system. I feel like fucking with people. I feel like fucking over some people and just doing that. I'm like, damn. They're worse than the Empire. I'm like, holy crap. But the thing about the New Order is they're not explained. Like, we don't know where they come from. Oh, I mean, granted, you could leave it at they're probably just certain parts of the old Empire that just were in hiding and then came back. I mean, were building themselves back up and then came back. Because, you know, it's been 30 years since the Jedi. So, yeah, it's believable. I can believe it. Kylo Ren, back onto him, he does take his mask off, and when you look at him, it's like, that's a pretty boy. It's like, you might lose a little respect, but again, when he gets to killing Han, it's like, I can take him serious. I take back that statement. He ain't no simple pretty boy. He will murder your ass. Jesus. And onto the humor now. The humor is really good. It's authentic. It's not like crappy Jar Jar Binks or one character has all these comedy one-liners and bullshit like that. No, it's authentic comedy. Finn is like one of the funniest characters in it. And that's why he has a lot of charm to him for it. It feels genuine. And BB-8, that cute little bastard. I mean it. I'm sorry, that is a cute droid. Like, I want my own BB-8 because he oh my god, he almost steals the show a bit. It's enjoyable what he does. He's an enjoyable new droid. And they have R2-D2 in here, and when you see BB-8 rolling up to R2-D2, it's a nice, cute little scene. I enjoy it. I really do. And R2, he's shut down because Luke has left. He's decided, I'm going to go in this low power mode until Luke is found. And when we get to the end, he powers back up. And it's like, okay, it's time to go find Luke. Now on to Luke. I mean, J.J. Abrams did really good in keeping him out of the marketing, because he does not show up until the very end. And even then, he doesn't say shit. He's completely. He doesn't say anything. And it's like, holy crap. Thank goodness they didn't try to sell me on Luke. Otherwise, this would have been like Transformers Revenge of the fucking. No, Transformers Extinction. Age of Extinction, whatever, that dumbass movie. Where they tried to sell the Dinobots, but they don't show up until 30 minutes after the fucking movie. Into the fucking movie. Oh, God. But here, I'm glad they didn't try to sell Luke. They do keep him out of the marketing. If we try to advertise, hey, Luke's in here, Luke's in here, it would have just been that one scene, and that would have been the only scene you saw in the trailer, and that would have been disappointing, very disappointing. So, kudos to J.J. Abrams on not trying to sell Luke. Now, one thing that does make it in here from the prequels is the crappy Senate and Republic. They still talk about them. And now it's just more their mention, but I don't know why. It makes it seem like they're definitely back. Like after the Rebels won in Return of the Jedi, they decided to bring back the Senate and the Republic, and it's just like you didn't need that. You could have left them out. It would have been fine had they been left out. I mean, it just shows, because for one thing, it shows they failed. They failed as a system because the Empire is what we got. We got the Empire because of that. So yeah, why not keep them out? So yeah, them mentioning the Republic and the Senate. Certain characters I feel got a little sidelined. I mean, Captain Phasma, they tried advertising that this was definitely going to be a good character. Granted, we didn't see her a lot in the previews and all that. We just saw her walking down that one tunnel, or we just saw her up close that one time. But it didn't do much. It was she didn't do much. She was just kind of there. Like the scene with Finn fighting the stormtrooper with the lightsaber. Nice scene. I enjoy the idea that the stormtroopers can actually fend off Jedi now, as long as they don't use the Force. But I feel like it should have been Captain Phasma. Phasma should have had this little laser beam or lightning rod thing and should have been fighting Finn off. That would have been nice. It's like, okay, yeah, that would have worked a lot better versus some random stormtrooper that's just like, traitor! And goes after him. I'm like, The final fight. Now, here's the thing. Rey herself turns out to be an actual Jedi. Or more or less, she is in tone with the Force. And she uses her powers to escape and whatnot. And there's a final fight between her, Finn, and Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren first goes up against Finn, but Finn's not a Jedi. We thought he was going to be a Jedi. We thought when they say the Force awakens, it awakens in him. Not really. It's like, pay attention to that marketing, because it's like, my sister has it, I have it, now you have it. It's like, Rey's the one that has it, not Finn, you do. It's like, not Finn, Rey does. And I like it. I like the idea that Rey was the one, especially with her backstory being she's abandoned, we don't know who the mother or the father is. But, and by the end, you'll be like, with the way they set it up, like, Rey goes to find Luke, and it's like, okay, you're hinting at something big time. We know you're hinting at something big time. I gotta say this, I like how the fight was. Rey put up a good front against him. And Kylo Ren's new lightsaber, it actually works the way they use it. It actually seems like a very practical weapon. But again, that scene just works so well. It's not as, amazing as like the Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan fight in Phantom Menace, but it's still a nice fight. I enjoy it. And to be honest, a lot of the effects in this movie work perfectly well. It knows how to mix up practical and CGI effects. The CGI works perfectly well when we're doing flight scenes and all that. I like that. I like the X-wing flights. I mean fighting scenes, all that. I like that. I really like the flying scene with the Millennium Falcon when Finn and Rey decide, okay, we need to get the hell out of here. The Empire's coming after us. They see the Millennium Falcon, they get in it, they take it, and they start flying around, and it is a joyride. It is a total joyride. If you watch this in IMAX, it's very enjoyable to watch. It's a very nice scene. And, yeah, that so far sums up everything. Like, it's a great movie. It has its faults. Some of the CGI can be a little weak. Mainly, Supreme Leader Snoke. He has the worst CGI out of everything. Even this one character named Moss, she's CGI, but you can accept it a bit more. There's a good performance. Lupita Nyong'o plays Moss very well. I enjoy her. Like the first impression, like she's like, "Where's my boyfriend? I really like that Wookiee." What a way to make an impression. I like her. I hope we see more of her in like episode 8 and whatnot. But Snoke, he is no Palpatine. I'm sorry. We don't see a lot of him, or we just don't get too much out of him. So, yeah, I can't. All in all, this is a great movie. Like I said in my non-spoiler review, what are you waiting for? We're basically on Christmas break. Go out, buy your tickets. If you can, see it in IMAX. If you can. If not, watch it normally. Either way, it's a great movie. Cinematography is great, even outside of 3D. It's just great. It does so well. It appeases new fans and it appeases old fans. It is a great movie. But that's just a thought.